Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Small Talk with Tanyalee Davis. This is episode 33, I believe. Might go out in the sun a bit today. It's out. It's important, the sun, even just for your mental health. It's important to get out during this time and get a bit of exercise. I just did my dance video, little party anthem in the house, so I rocked out to that. So one of the questions that I have received is asking if I drive. Well, if you followed along at all with me over the last couple of years, I don't drive, especially here in the UK. I take the trains most places, and if you want to check back through the archives in my YouTube and all that kind of stuff, you'll see all the travel journeys and drama that I have had in my dealings with a British transportation system. Anyway, when I was 16 years old, unfortunately both my maternal grandparents passed away, and when after my grandmother passed away, my mother basically bought out her sisters to get my grandparents' car so that I could have a car to learn how to drive, which was obviously wonderful. The biggest issue was the car was massive. It was a 1972 Pontiac Parisian. I don't even think they make them anymore, but if you think about an old style Cadillac, but not as fancy, but the size of it, that's what this was. It was a massive boat of a car. It had burgundy velour bucket seats. It had a plastic statue of Jesus on the dashboard, keeping shit real, and it was massive. So luckily, where I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, they had an organization called the Society of Manitobans with Disabilities. So when I got this car, we gave it to them, and for free, they modified it for me. Nowadays, little people can just buy pedal extensions and put them on, like even rental cars. A lot of people can do that. Anyway, I don't. So I got the car modified. I got extended pedals. So they built like a little shelf underneath my feet. The pedals popped up onto that. Then I sat on a couple of pillows that brought me up and forward. They weren't custom made. We just sort of rigged it. So I had my learner's permit. And when I was in high school, I rode my bike to school in the summers. And I also was the manager of all the boys' sports teams. I mean, I played a lot of sports growing up, but as I got older, I couldn't be competitive. So I wanted to be involved, and so I asked to be the manager. And of course, I'm a chick that likes boys, so I'm not stupid. I was the manager of the boys' teams. Because I was just one of the guys all the time. And my best friend at the time in high school, guy friend, was Aaron Field. And he was 6'3", and back in the days, Aaron would pretty much carry me around. So one day I guess I drove my car to school, or we had volleyball practice. That's all I remember after school. So school was over. Aaron and I, we went to practice, and then I think I was going to drive him home, or we were going to meet up with somebody. But a friend of ours had already left the parking lot. So Aaron and I got into the car, and Westwood Collegiate, the parking lot sort of on a bit of a hill. And when you come down to the street level, it's rather steep, and then it comes up very quickly. So our friend had taken off, and when I came down the parking lot slope, I didn't come to a complete stop because there was no traffic around. So I coasted, and I was turning the wheel to make a right-hand turn, and I coasted, and the car was so big that when I sort of hit that dip, I fell forward in the car, and my foot hit the gas pedal. So I was in the turning position, and I literally squealed to the right, and I was sort of thrown to the left part of the car because I didn't have a seat that actually kept me secure. I was like rattling around back and forth. So the car's turning, I'm like this, the wheel's turning, and the car kept turning to the right, and we hit the curb. And it wasn't just your normal like little curb, it was a full-on massive curb. So when we hit that, once again, the car went down like that, and I hit the gas pedal. And so at this point now, we're careening onto school property. And at one point, for survival, no doubt, Aaron grabbed the wheel, and it turned us more sort of in towards the school, and we basically ran into the side of the gymnasium. There's a staircase that came down, and we hit the side of the staircase. The staircase hit the hood of the car, and basically this boat of a car did an accordion and became a dinghy. And I watch a lot of TV, so of course car crashes, I was like, it's gonna blow! And I'm freaking out. Meantime, I'd smacked my head a couple of times. I actually had burned my neck from the seatbelt from being whipped back and forth. I had a burn mark. And Aaron, he was wearing a seatbelt too, but he got chucked around quite a bit. Anyway, if we weren't wearing our seatbelts, we could have been ejected through the windshield. So of course, I'm freaking out. I can't open the car door because everything's buckled. I think Aaron might have crawled out the window. And of course, I'm like, oh my God, you can fix this, right? Because all I can think about is my parents are going to kill me. And we tried at this time, way before cell phones. I think this was it was either it must have been 1988 because it was the year that I was graduating high school. Because I left a small and significant dent in my graduating year. So the coach of the volleyball team came out and was like, nice job, Davis. And we tried to call at my mom's house, and the line was busy. And so we couldn't get a hold of anybody. So he drove me back to where I lived. And at that time, well, I lived with my mom and my stepdad. And crazy enough, I walk into the house, and my mom is on the phone with my dad, who lived in the States, so completely different country, because I grew up in Canada. And so now I have to tell both my parents at the same time that I basically totaled the car. So you can imagine how fun that was. So that was the day after I got the car insured, and a week before I was actually going for my driver's license, because I only had my learner's permit. I was allowed to drive as long as I had a registered driver in the car. So that was my experience driving. I never did get a car after that. Well, I've had 2 cars, I guess, since when Marty and I were married. We had a small SUV, and Kevin and I had a car as well that I could have modified, but I caused enough damage on my scooter. So for probably everybody else's personal safety, it's probably better that I don't drive. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that story with you guys. I'm going to try to do that more often, share little stories and anecdotes from my life. So I hope that's okay. Keep asking questions. Please share my dance videos. Thank you for all the love and support. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.